All right. It is Monday. Happy Monday. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show. It is May 17th. And kind of rainy out. So it's going to be another dark background morning show. Not have to worry about the sun all up in my eyes. Pretty soon I won't have to worry about that at all. Well, actually, I don't know. We're getting much closer to the moving date. You can see a bunch more crap is gone. I put this thing up. I have no idea if that's how it's originally supposed to be, but it's stable and it's up there, and I screwed the things in. And honestly, I don't think any of them have seen a 2-bedroom apartment in a while when they come in to inspect it, so they'll have no idea anyway. So the complex that I live in only has, I think, 3 or 4 2-bedrooms, and there's usually a wait list to get on them, so they'll have no idea what it was supposed to look like. Yeah. How are we all doing? Supposedly in this area, if you live in any of the states in or around the tri-state area, the cicadas are coming, supposedly. I don't believe it, but like Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, I think parts of Michigan, something like that, in the states, supposedly getting cicadas. But so we officially started the stream on time with my morning show stream, my morning show screen at least. So maybe next time I'll have that earlier, and then at 10 a.m. exactly, I'll be ready to just start talking. We're getting closer though, getting closer to starting on time. But yeah, so we had a good weekend this weekend. Some in-laws were in. We went and hung out. We went to the zoo, and then we went to some hiking trails and stuff yesterday. That was cool. Got some pretty cool pictures of that. And yeah. So we're gonna talk about I've run into an issue now. I think I'll have like one more morning show stream. Let me see. Probably one more morning show stream next week, next Monday on the 24th. Before I might take a break for a week or two. Because the Monday after that will be the 31st, and that'll be the day before or around the day. That's about the time we're supposed to close on the house. So I may be too busy doing stuff. So I might not do that morning show, and maybe the week after that, depending on how we get internet and stuff set up. So the next morning show, next Monday, I'll have some other stuff. I'll try to have something else planned. It'd be hard to talk more about board games. I'll find a way, but that's all empty. All the board games I own are packed up. They're in boxes right now. 14 boxes, actually. It took 14 boxes to pack all those board games up. So that's normal. And I did just notice I missed a couple that were down here in my little cubbies. This one right here, Zombie Dice here. Not really a board game, but yeah. So as we were packing up 14 boxes of board games, though, my wife and I happened to see a couple board games on Kickstarter that looked super interesting. So we backed those on Kickstarter. So we will have 2 more board games coming because apparently we can't stop buying board games. In my defense, though, we're moving to a house where we'll have more room for board games. That means we need to get more board games to fill that room. That's how it works. Also are getting rid of a few board games. They're not going to make the cut. They didn't make the cut in boxing, and they didn't make the cut ending up. That is how it works, Valerie. We're going to have a big wall of shelves, and they have to be filled with board games. We're getting rid of 4 board games. They didn't make the cut for boxes, and we're getting 2. We backed 2 more, so we're still down 2. So that means I need to get 2 more somewhere. One of the games, yes, all of them. One of the games we backed is still on Kickstarter. I recommend people checking it out. As last I saw, it still has 18 days, so it doesn't end until like early June sometime. It is a 2-player specific game. It's called Chai Tea for 2. If you go to Kickstarter.com and you search Chai Tea for 2, you'll see it. It's a little husband and wife couple. They have a couple other games that they've designed together and made. One of them is just called Chai Tea, I think. And it's the original game they made was you have like a tea shop and you have like rotating ingredients and you're competing with other players, and I think that one's like a 2 to 5 player game. You're competing with other players to get the best chai ingredients or get specific tea ingredients to make a specific tea blend that a customer wants. So there's a lot of dice rolling. Trying to think what else. Like there's resource management because the prices of the ingredients fluctuate, things like that. So there's a resource management aspect to it. It was a lot of fun. But they came out with a Kickstarter called Chai Tea for 2. The game only is playable by 1 or 2 players. So it's definitely going. That's the one I sent the link to my wife and she backed it immediately. She loves 2-player games, especially if they're 2-player games that are specifically for 2 players. And like I've talked about that in one of the first morning shows. Any games that are like 2 to 4 players, it's going to definitely be hit or miss on whether or not and how good that game is at the 2-player area. Most of them are going to be playable. They're going to be fine. But you'll be able to tell yourself if you're playing them and you get halfway through the game, you'll get that feeling that this game was really made for 3 or 4 players. And then, I've talked about before in a different morning show, you have those games that are like generally like drafting games or hidden player games or anything like that, where it says like 3 to 5 players, but you're looking at the rule book and it says there's like a 2-player variant. Most of those suck. So it's always really exciting when we get to look at and check out or see a new game that is only for 2 players. Like, it's made to be played by just 2 people, no more, or sometimes less. A lot of times 2-player games will have a solo version of it if you want to play a board game by yourself. I've looked at a bunch of the solo variants and versions of the board games that I own, and I've just never been at a spot where I'm like, I'm going to sit down and play a board game by myself for an hour. It just seems weird. I mean, I do it with video games all the time, but it just seems weird to do it with a board game. But so yeah, the Chai Tea for 2 game is still on Kickstarter. Check it out. You're like a tea merchant, and you're like running like a tea plantation. You're trying to like get specific types and kinds, or well, you're trying to get tea growing and then turn that tea into specific types of tea. So like black, oolong, green tea, white tea, it's all technically the same tea apparently. I've recently learned it's all the same tea plant, and it's based on like the age of how it's grown and the method of how it's grown, and like maybe something with the soil or something like that. So tea is all comes from the same plant, no matter whether it's black, white, oolong, or anything like that. And it just depends on like how it's processed into the point where it gets put into a tea, similar to like wine. Wine is all comes from grapes, the grape plant, but there's different flavors and things depending on the location that it's grown, the soil, the the temperature of the region that it's grown in, things like that. So I think teas works the same way. It's all one tea plant. But so yeah, you have a tea plantation, you're working on growing tea and trying to sell tea and become like the best tea trader. But so check that out on Kickstarter if you're into 2-player games. It looks really cute. It's fairly cheap. I want to say it was like 30 or 30 is somewhere between 30 to 40, I want to say. So that's pretty cheap for a board game. The pieces of quality, they're like wood pieces, all that good stuff. And then the other game I backed, I had been watching on Kickstarter for a while, and I backed it because it was the last day, and that Kickstarter ended and it's over. And it's a cool looking deduction game that supposedly is 2 players and above. So it doesn't say it's 3 to 5 players or anything like that. With a weird 2-player variant. It says on the box I want to say 2 to 6 players. So we'll see how that is. Once I get it, I'll figure out if it really is 2 players or not. And maybe they just put that on the box because they are planning a 2-player variant, and it's probably going to be a garbage variant because deduction games are really hard to do with 2 players, but we'll see. So maybe down the line here, when that comes out, let me check on when that's supposed to come out. And I'll just assume that it's going to be like 7 months after that. So, I'll figure out where. Here we go. So it's estimated delivery in January of 2022. So I'm betting it'll be the summer of 2022. So that's a while away. I'll expect that in a year, probably a year from now. So, but yeah, so that game, that one's called Hidden Leaders. That's worth looking at as well. The Kickstarter for that one already ended. That one was cheap too. It was like £20. It's a Britain thing, so I think it was like $24. So that was a bit cheaper. So that's the one I backed. The artwork looks awesome. And it's some emperor died and you are the place of somebody who is somewhere in the line of succession, and you play cards and do things to try to get yourself put in, I think, as emperor, as far as what I read from it. But they'll be putting more up after you back a game on Kickstarter. They start putting out updates and things for you to read as the progress goes, and I'll read more about how to play the game and stuff like that. But so yeah, so Chai Tea for 2 and Hidden Leaders. So there were 2 Kickstarters that we did, so we should have those games sometime. Like I said, Hidden Leaders is supposed to be January of 2022, so that'll be sometime probably spring or summer of 2022. Chai Tea for 2, I don't know. I didn't back that one, so I don't have the information on hand for that one. I know that one's still going. So if you like 2-player board games, check out Chai Tea for 2. Yeah. Other than that, we'll figure out something else to talk. We'll figure out something to talk about more too. Next Monday for board games, as we have all of them packed up, and they are gone. If anybody has any games they want me to look at or check out between now and next Monday, and give opinions on it, if I think it'll be good, things like that, I've come to find out that I'm pretty good at seeing a game at a glance, looking at like the quality of the pieces and like the rule book a little bit and the concept of the game, and knowing if it's how good it's going to be and if it's going to be good. As somebody who, because I've played, as somebody who owns over 200 board games and has probably played close to 300 or 400 different board games, it's yeah, I have a lot of experience in that. So if you want me to check out a game, take a look at a game, I can probably let you know what I would think of it, if it's good, things like that. There's certain things I look for, and as of right now, any games, I don't think I've gotten any game, even the games I've gotten on a whim, I don't think I've gotten a game that didn't turn out to be really fun one way or another. I'm trying to think if there's any game like, and that's like even from like other people that I've played with, when I've shown the game off, taken it out and said like, check this game out. I just happened to see like the box art and like one of the rules and like read the concept of the game on like Amazon, and I ordered it. No prior like knowledge or research in it. I just get that feeling, and I'm like, this is gonna be fun. But saying that, there was one game way back when I was early into board games that I did get. I got this game pretty early on, and I never played it. We didn't play it once. I don't even know if I popped the cardboard pieces out. And I'm pretty sure I don't have it anymore. I think I got rid of it without having played it. It is the one exception to my flawless track record with games. And it wasn't even like a bad game. Nothing about it said it was going to be a bad game. It was just a game that was going to be terrible with the group that I play with. So it was like a risk-like game. It was called Diplomacy. It was very much about like a wartime strategy. It was like, I want to say it was like way in like World War II era technology type of things. You had like boats and, what is it? Like little biplanes, little propeller planes, things like that for fighters and things. And you pick. There's few sides to pick, like Russia, like Britain, things like that, United States or Germany, or you pick your little area, you'd get your army and your pieces, and it's kind of like Risk. You'd deploy your stuff out. And then the point of the game was you would get together with the other leaders, but you'd do it like secretly. Like there was like a half-hour window in between each turn, or it was like 15 minutes to a half hour, something like that is what they recommended, where you got together with each of the other people playing individually in like a off to the side in a different room, and you discussed one-on-one with them your plans, their plans, whether you could help each other or now out or not. Like, hey, like I won't attack this country of yours if you take some of your army and attack this other player that's playing. Like you can use some of your army to attack them and I won't attack you. So you go in and out of this like room with every player that's playing, have these little secret meetings where you talk about all the stuff that you're going to do and or not do, make make promises to the other players to say, I'm not going to attack you if you attack this other player, blah, blah, blah. So you have all these meetings in these secret rooms. Everybody comes back to the table and you sit down, and then you literally do not have to do anything that you talked about in any of those meetings. You could just straight up shoot somebody in the face and just attack the country that you explicitly told them verbally that you would not attack, because none of it was binding. Like they were all suggestions. And you could just be lying your face off in those secret meetings and just do the complete opposite. So we were reading the rule book to that, and I was like, this is just never going to work with the people that I play with. It would absolutely not work. We are way too many. It was just a big group of assholes. Like we wouldn't have, it would just be chaos. That's all it would be. So we ended up never playing it. To be honest, if we had started a game of diplomacy, we would probably still be playing that game today, like years later, that same game. We would pick it up and we put it on different tables. We'd take pictures of the layout. It would have just moved around. Nobody would win. Everybody would just be assholes. It would have never ended. So yeah, I actually want to look and see. I don't remember packing it. I just got done packing all the 14 boxes of games. I don't think I have it. So unless I put it in storage to hold on to for later, and because I still have to look at our storage to see what all we need to pack out of there. Pull that stuff out. I might do that today. Out our storage. That way we have everything in the apartment that we're gonna move. But I'm pretty sure I got rid of that game. So, but that was early on when I was new to buying games. That was years, 3 to 4 years ago, probably. Since then, I have not bought a game that I was disappointed in that I can remember. I've bought games where we don't play them often. I do have another game that I kickstarted back to, got it on time, no delays. But I haven't played it, not because it doesn't look fun and it doesn't sound fun, but I haven't played it because even before COVID, it is super hard to get 10 people together to play a game. And this game that I got takes 10 people. Like that's the minimum, is 10 people. And it just goes up from there. So someday I'm going to play this game, and maybe it will be another situation where it's not a great game and that I never play it again. But someday I'm going to play this game. I'm going to get 10 people. I'm going to play this game. Now that we're going to have a house with a fire pit in the backyard, and we have stuff to lure people over with to hang out, maybe it'll be easier to get 10 people. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, so that's the exciting stuff that's coming on for me. A few more weeks now, Still have a lot of packing to do. And all that good stuff. And so, but for the coming up this week, I do have my new schedule. We could talk a little bit about that. I'm planning on playing Dead Cells again this week. I've been having a good amount of fun with that. Especially when we get some people in the chat, hanging out, doing the commands, making it easier and or harder. Well, you can't really make it. Well, you can make it easy with the chicken door, but generally keep it the same difficulty, or sometimes they make it harder. If they take over the Captain Chicken, deny heals, and turn the level into darkness, something like that. That was a very difficult run. So, yeah, we'll have Dead Cells this week, but my schedule this week and going forward for a little while, especially as I'm doing this moving stuff, it's going to be shorter streams. So my Tuesday, Thursday streams are going to be 1 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. They're going to be 4 hours long instead of sometimes 6 hours long when I did 11 to 5. So we're going to shorten them a little bit, especially with playing Dead Cells right now. And it opens up more games in general if it's a smaller window. Playing Dead Cells for like 5 to 6 hours. It's a lot because it's a repetitive game that after like 2 to 3 hours in, you're starting to lose your timing down, you're dying more often, things like that. So it makes it hard to play a long session of that. So, and just other games in general, like I want to keep my sessions like between 3 to 4 hours. I think that's the sweet spot. You're not looking for people to stay watching a full day playthrough of a game for like 6 hours. So 3 to 4 hours, I think, of playtime is a lot more manageable for people, especially when I start doing series. When I get back into Octopath, a 3 hour session of that instead of a 6 hour session. That way you don't have to stay for you don't have to commit 6 hours to it, but you also don't have to worry about missing out on the story because you can't do that. Things like that. If you're, watching it to pay attention to the story. Because some people were into that story and watching it, and but they didn't want to play it themselves, but they liked the story. So things like that. I'm going to definitely, going forward, I'm going to keep my sessions 3 to 4 hours instead, and I might throw another one in. So I'm doing like three days a week of gameplay along with my morning show. But we'll see how that goes. This week, sometime in the evening, I do want to try something new. I'm thinking Wednesday, maybe Wednesday evening. Another little 1 hour or so session, of a like kind of a just chatting thing like my morning show, but I want to do trivia. I have a trivia night. Hang out, people can do trivia questions and whatnot. Because I do have a thing for it. To do it, like it's a Twitch extension for trivia. And people can participate in that. It looks, from what I've read on it, it is mobile friendly as well. So like you could be hanging out on your phone, watching and listening, and still play the trivia game. It pops up the trivia thing like down here in the bottom, similar to like if I do my social thing. It's bigger than that, but it comes at the bottom of the screen there with the trivia questions. They're multiple choice questions, and we could just hang out and do a trivia night and stuff like that. People get awarded points. There's like a leaderboard, all that good stuff. So are we looking to try to do something like that? I'm thinking maybe Wednesday evening for that. But we'll see. That will be on my socials. As you just saw there, I'll put it up again. My socials are at Grim Method. You can find me anywhere. Instagram is my primary one that I use. Sometimes I do cross post to Twitter, and my Soul Club Facebook page sometimes gets it, depending on where I'm posting the social media messages from. If it's from my phone, it goes to everywhere. If it's from my computer, I think it only goes to Twitter and Instagram. But no matter what, it'll be on Instagram. So that's the best place to see my announcements and any new stuff like that. So be on the lookout on my Instagram for when the trivia night will happen, if it's going to happen this week. And the first one's probably going to be, they have like a bunch built in trivia things like that. That other people have made. You could just load them in yourself. But I do want to eventually, if it's a thing that people like and want to see more of, I would want to make my own trivia sets of questions. I think that'd be really fun. Yeah. So that might be a thing that I start doing more often, like an evening thing, or my evening just chatting stream that I want to do. That includes that and more deep talk about like mental health and addiction and stuff like that, and a safe space for people to hang out and talk about stuff. Part of that would include maybe some trivia, just to have some fun things to do while in between that. So that is this week. We got Dead Cells for sure on Tuesday, tomorrow, starting at 1 p.m. and we played some Dead Cells with Twitch integration. And then Thursday, I do have planned for Dead Cells as well, but that'll vary depending on how Tuesday goes. If I'm not feeling it after Tuesday and I want to try something else, I'm definitely going to look into, it'll be something that I'm going to try and find another game with some kind of Twitch integration. It probably won't be as good as Dead Cells. I know a game, Streets of Rogue or something like that. Let's see what. Yeah, Streets of Rogue has a Twitch integration that I was looking at, and that was a pretty fun game, a pixel art game as well, top down type of open world thing where you go into a mission, it says, hey, we need you to capture or kill this person or hack this computer thing, and then it just tosses you into a randomly generated little top-down world, and then you can go about doing that mission however you feel like. So there's sneaking around, there's not sneaking around, you just start shooting everybody. You can hire gang members to help you. There's a lot of different approaches to it. It's a lot of fun, and there is some kind of Twitch integration with that, so we might look at that one for Thursday. But I do like this stuff with Twitch integration. It's been pretty exciting. And aside from that, we do have Outriders that I want to get back into as a shooter. I want to get back into some kind of shooter, so I might go back into some Outriders as well here in a few weeks, maybe after the move. And I am paying attention to Cyberpunk. Everybody remembers that game when it came out not too long ago, and it did not run very well on most people's computer. But I still pay attention to that. I know they're making lots of updates and optimizations for it. I thought it was a fun game. I know lots of people were disappointed about it just in general, even aside from the bugs. I thought it was really fun, and I do want to get back into that. And one thing I might do for that, and I'll talk more about that on social media here in the next week or two, is I'm going to start making like follower goals and like sub goals. And so one of my goals is going to be a follower goal, probably to get to 200 followers, to try and get that up there. And the pitch for that is going to be me getting about the time when I can get back into Cyberpunk and actually play it and stream it. My character in Cyberpunk looks a lot like me. I actually made a character that looks like me, which I don't do often, but he has a beard just like mine, a short-ish beard, and it's green. So I'm gonna look into a follower. If I get a goal to when I get to 200 followers, start that up as like a month-long goal or something like that, sometime in June. Start that. Say I would like to reach 200 followers in a month from when I start that goal. And if I do, then I will play Cyberpunk and I will dye my beard green to look like my character in game. And maybe try to find a shirt or something like that. So that looks like my character in game. So it'll be a sub goal or a follower goal to dress like my character in Cyberpunk and play my Cyberpunk game again. Right from where I left off, which I have no idea what I was doing in that game. So it'll be just jumping in wherever I was in the story and just trying to figure it out from there. So that'll be something that I want to look at. Shouldn't be too hard to dye my beard green. Maybe it would be. My beard is very dark, but it wouldn't be permanent dye. It would be like one of those 30 wash dyes or something like that. But that's some stuff that I have in my head, that things coming on. And after the move and stuff like that, once I got my dedicated streaming office, I'm gonna do a lot more stuff. I feel like I want to get more into things. Have more control over the light situation, so that way I don't have to readjust my camera every time I start, more so than I normally do. Things like that. So that'll be really exciting to get on. Yeah, well, that's nice. There's something I just thought of, but now I forgot it already. Moving on. I have one of the things I got is sound foam, sound absorption panels. I got a whole set of them, set of 12 of them. I was gonna put them up all behind this wall behind me, but then we started this move type of thing. We started looking for houses and ended up finding one faster than I thought. So I never put them up, so that's exciting. I'll be able to put those up as soon as I move into the new office, before I have my desk and all that up. I'll probably get more of those for the room. So I don't need people like walking by the house and or like a neighbor or something like that. Even in the house, like right now it's an apartment, so I have to be like quieter ish, things like that. People will be out in the hallway. They don't need to hear me yelling, "Get fucked, teapot," like really loud. Also, like that would go right through this wall behind me, and I could be on a work meeting, so I'm going to soundproof my new streaming room. That'll be the first thing I do. Make sure that I can get more vocal, more active, more animated into the games. That's something that I want to do, like as part of like my brand, my content. So add some of that like loud comedy into some of the things, obviously not all of them, but something I can't really do in the situation right now. So that'll be exciting for the new streaming room. And just having more control over the stuff I can do. Because you're very limited in an apartment. And yeah, once we get into the new house and stuff like that, hopefully I can come up with a situation that makes it a bit easier, because I do want to do more board game stuff. As you know, like I did a couple episodes of Graham Reviews. One of them was just me talking, and the other one was actually like a good review of a game that I have called Gravwell. So I would like to do another situation like that, where I take the board game out, get it on a table, film parts of it, me doing parts of it, like filming like the setup, the cards, the pieces, things like that. And then I did voiceover on, you know, the different aspects of it, but like the setup, the rules, like basically a quick explanation of how to play the game. I want to do more of that. So having like a better room for that would be awesome, to record and film that, edit that, and then release more of those. Is really exciting. This room, like I was able to do it, but it'd be better if I had a better setup for it, which I think I can do in the new streaming room that I'm gonna have. So I want to do more board game reviews, and I know I talked about it in another morning show that it was hard to do it, and it'll still be hard to do it because I don't want to do a review on games that nobody can get. So that'll be the big thing is, and now that I have some time in between like packing and stuff like that, I'm going to go through, actually when I unpack all the stuff, and we're putting all the board games back up in the new place, I'm going to do like a quick search on a bunch of them, just so I can find out the status on how, if you can buy them, and how easy it is to buy them, things like that. And that way I'll have it'll be easier to make a list of games I can do reviews on that people have the option to buy, so that way you don't sit through like a 20-minute explanation of how to play a game, whether the game is good or not, and then go to look for it and you can't even buy it. So that was one of the other difficulties I had, aside from the recording space was not great. So yeah, I'll spend some time making a list. I already know a few, like the choose your own adventure games that we talked about in the other morning show. The two of those I think they're pretty easy to find. Something like this. But yeah, so I'll make a list for that once we start unpacking them in the new place. And hopefully get some of that content going again soon. As well. So because I could edit that on my off days, have that going. And yeah, so and here soon, once I get the new streaming room set up, I'm gonna get more back into getting some collaborations going with Lunar Alchemists. a lot of the Lunar Alchemists have been super busy, not other than me. Some of them are doing finals in school, in college, or whatnot, for whatever they're going for college for. I can't remember off the top of my head, but a lot of people have gotten busy in the last couple weeks, not just me. So I want to make another push for doing some more Lunar Alchemist group streams, hanging out with like Among Us or Pummel Party, something like that. That I do want to get back into those once this move is all done and situated. And once this move is done and situated, the thing that's most exciting right now is access to gigabyte internet that I will have at the new house. So we'll be getting gigabyte internet, 1 gig down, something amount up, more up than we have now, and that's all that matters. But the 1 gig down is going to be great. Same company that we have right now, which is great. But they offer 1 gigabyte, so I'll no longer have to worry about my stuff interrupting her, my wife's stuff, or her if she has a meeting and uploads files at the same time. It basically just tanks my streaming ability. So we should not have to worry about that at all once we get gigabyte. And I'm going to smart home everything. I'm going to smart light, all kinds of smart home stuff. That's going to be fun. I did get a chance to see, we went to the house again over the weekend because had some my wife had some family in from out of town, so we went to the house to show them, because it'll probably be a long time before they get back in town to see the house. So, and I did notice that there is not, from what I could tell, a doorbell, because I was planning on getting a Ring and I was hoping it was going to be easy to install, but there is not electric that I could see for a doorbell. So I'm going to have to get one of those battery operated bitches. So there's that. But other than that, it's going to be awesome. Super excited for that. And maybe that could be some of my Twitch content as well. Or probably not Twitch content, probably YouTube content. Me doing smart home stuff. Learning as we go. That'll be the smart home shit that I do. Learning by doing. So yeah, that's about all I have. Yeah, let me know on social media, any board games and stuff. Come out and hang out in my Soul Club Discord. Links down below. My Twitch panels down there. I'll add this Discord link. If you're watching this on YouTube on Tuesday, then I'll try to remember to put the link in my video description for my Discord. You can find it. Should be able to find it in there. If not, I did not figure out how to do it properly. But anyway, it's always in my Twitch about panels. Come hang out in the Soul Club Discord. We can talk about more board games and things like that, and things you'd want to know more in depth of in the next morning show. Let me know there or through social media at Grim Method, pretty much everywhere. I'm always looking for new board games, even though I have a lot of them. Whether I buy it or not, or just look into it one way or another, I'll be able to talk about it. And other than that, you can come hang out in the Soul Club Discord, or let me know on social media of any games you think would be interesting to try, or that you know of with good Twitch integration type of things. And other than that, be on lookout for my trivia night thing. I'll be posting about that on my socials as soon as I figure out how and when I want to do that. And then also my goals and stuff like that. I'll post about them on social media. My Cyberpunk Greenbeard goal, things like that. And just a lot more stuff I want to do. And more social media stuff. I need to get a lot better with the social media. It's a learning process, so, but I'm getting there. And so hopefully everybody has a good week. And if you are in the Midwest tri-state region, and you're one of those people in Indiana, Ohio, or Kentucky area, be on the lookout for these supposed BroodX cicadas. They claim there's billions of them. I don't believe it, but we'll see. It's the 17-year ones that supposedly take over and do all kinds of weird stuff. So supposedly they're coming. Watch out for that. They don't hurt you. They can't bite. They don't sting. So you don't have to worry about any of that. But apparently they are very annoying. So yeah. Thank you guys all for coming and hanging out with me today. Yeah, and loud. Supposedly they get really loud. So if it's anything like people have been telling me that have been in the area for a while and has seen the previous one from 17 years ago, it's gonna be a wild ride. I want to see it, but I feel like at this point in time, it's like when people, even like when I talk about like snow when I was a kid, there used to be real snowstorms, and I feel like most places don't get those anymore. Like up in Michigan where I grew up, like snow, like 8 to 10 inches of snow, then ice, then another 6 inches of snow, then another sheet of ice on top of it. I feel like that just doesn't happen as much anymore either. So I feel it's greatly exaggerated but we will see, I guess. So that, everybody have a good week. Thanks for hanging out, you beautiful souls out there. Follow me on my socials if you want more content like this. Let me know at Grim Method everywhere. I'll put this up one more time. And if you are watching this on Tuesday on YouTube, I will be streaming Dead Cells at 1 p.m. Eastern. So come and check me out later today if you're watching this on YouTube. If not, if you're watching right now, check me out tomorrow, Tuesday. I'll be streaming some Dead Cells, so 1 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come and make the game harder for me. But always have a good week. And we'll see you when we see you next stream.